Chelsea Lee's job.
DJ Chelsea Lee.
Looking for the one, have you seen him? Impatient and I can't wait to meet him. See, I'ma ride for him if he rides for me. Have the kind of love that won't fade away. I know I'ma get him, I ain't worried. But I need his loving in a hurry. I'll stay by your side, bet you understand. Can't wait till we unite, yeah. Let's create a vibe. Need a man with some ambition. It ain't even Christmas, but if he's close to 6'6", probably on my wish list. He would be my final, I put that on the Bible. I freak him up all crazy, then we reaping that revival. Don't go fast, at first we'll go slow. Can he swim like an Olympian? Need to see that stroke. I just want him to myself, I wouldn't want no one else. If he loves my body and my mind.
What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? This is another episode of the Devinwade Show. I am your host, Dev Wade, a.k.a. Dangerous DevWade, a.k.a. Choke Your Mom Out, a.k.a. Choke Your Pop Out. And that was a new joint Garnett just sent over to me from Joe Rivers. What's that joint right there, bro?
Shout out to Joe Rivers. That was called Creative Vibe. She sent that in for the Champagne Sessions. I like that song.
Yeah,
man.
she created a vibe. That shit fire.
Tell him something, Joe.
Nah, shout out to Joe Rivers, man. I think me and Joe Rivers just started following each other, but I've been heard her name. We just actually made that like connection, and that joint is Shea Butter. That's another Shea Butter baby.
Okay.
This nigga want to be an R&B motherfucker.
Nah, like Shea Butter. Oh no! I got an R&B project coming. It's R&B starring me.
Are you singing?
No, I might. I'm an R&B connoisseur. Don't get it
you
twisted.
You gonna have to have Mikey on them tracks.
Hey, listen, you might catch Polak Mikey on the joint, but I'm listening. No, I just got an R&B side to me for real. Like I love R&B music. I like with a passion.
That.
Like probably like as much or more than I love rap.
Wow.
Well, Track said that you could essentially be a singer. He said the way you be hitting them notes on your shout out to my guy for such a compliment. It sounded like she was going to say Red Robin.
listen.
It really did, though. It really did sound like Red Robin commercial.
No, that's my dog. She know my signature shit. She better. But shout out to Trax. Nah, me and Trax got some sessions coming up. You never know. He's a magician. He's a real like genius when it come to like the whole music thing. And I just appreciate Trax every time we get in the lab together. So you never know.
I had to go fucking turn that air conditioner on. Fuck that. But yes, that voice that you just motherfucking heard was Porter Rich, a.k.a. Porno Porter, a.k.a. Panorama Porter, a.k.a. star of Chase Street. It's available on some other platforms, I believe, as well now, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's actually up here, but I know they're doing something with Roku where it's supposed to go to Roku and it's going to hit a whole bunch of a new network of channels and things of that nature. So shout out to Chase Street and the whole team. Okay.
And to the right of him, I want to just say today we are very happy to have both Dick Detectives in the building. So we have our DJ who I just took her job. I'm the DJ now. Like I was gonna
say that. I'm your captain.
Yeah, I'm the DJ. I never understood how he let that nigga take over his boat. That nigga was skinny as hell in that cap. Did you watch Captain Phillips before?
No,
this nigga. No. Let me tell you. These like Ethiopian niggas with the skinniest arms you've ever seen. Like these, like the Jones that hold this microphone. I don't give a fuck what kind of gun they was holding. You'd have threw these niggas right over the motherfucking, right over the edge of that boat. They was some weak niggas for getting captured by them. But we have none other than DJ Chelsea Lee in the building.
What's up, beautiful people?
Across from her, we have the head detective. What's the vibes right now?
Why did we say head detective?
When
did we say? You just started that.
No,
you've been the head detective because you was the one.
Because when I said
you said you want to see the dicks.
Yeah, so
you are the head,
and you were the one that could like really like tell like. No, he's definitely not from like what hemisphere he was from. Based off,
she's a scoper, all right.
Yeah.
I'm a zoomer.
That's exactly.
She's like one level above me.
That's crazy, a zoomer. Yo, but question is that like because we know we got both the detectives in here, and it seems like are those like your sirens? I heard like it,
I was just
and
making sound. I wanted to sound.
but it was like in like how you call it? It was y'all was like y'all was like synchronizing. It
That's
was like
the Caribbean drop.
I thought that was like your sirens when the detectives pull up, like the check dicks.
Nah, that joint is gonna be it's gonna be all moans. You know what I'm saying? It's just gonna be back and forth moans.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We need a dance remix to that though.
Listen, earlier, Richie called you Pippi Longstocking. You saw how the headphones just made her braids go to the side.
No, I love the new hairstyle. She just looks,
Y'all gonna be seeing my new do soon.
No, it's amazing.
Check on my social.
You look young. You look youthful.
Thank you. You know.
She just got off the island.
Yep. A little
I just need
childish.
Yeah.
Not childish like in a bad way.
No, like youthful.
Right.
Okay. And
like
that
that.
youthful person is none other than Waleska D.
Hello.
These nuts.
Waterworks.
I always want to do that every time. I'm sorry. Just once. I'm done.
Big ass kid.
And I wanna do this with Chelsea here and let her know that she did kind of make up for the
moan?
terrible moan with a really
I
nice
tried.
moan, with a nice moan last time.
Yeah.
And the fans definitely appreciated that moan.
Yeah, I've been working on it, Chelsea.
Good. I'll send you some videos.
She's been building her comfort up. And then we have
Ooh, that was a
Right.
long
I like
one.
that, Garn, because you're not even going to let Dev slander him today.
Come on, man.
I know what
Cut
that's
him off
about.
quick.
Thank you,
Yeah,
man.
I know what that's about. We're not even getting slandered today. Bird call.
what's
all
the
over
job? What's the
everything.
jobs this week? Pianist.
BJ's maintenance person.
Okay, I thought you was about to say something.
Blowjobs?
I thought you was about to say. I thought you was about to say something different.
Okay.
What? Why are y'all always thinking that?
I don't know.
What's up with y'all?
Bro,
A nigga
what
can't
the-
work at
Birdman, I
BJ's?
didn't think that.
What's the
Thank
other
you.
jobs that you've picked up this week?
Underwater ceramic technician. That's first on the list. Most importantly.
So you're
What's that, like
underwater.
swimming pool shit? Like, can you do under swimming pools?
Nah, so underwater ceramic technician, that's just a fancy title for dishwasher. I'm just out here washing dishes, but I'm mad professional at it. That's the title you get when you real
I'm
good.
thinking you like doing underground pools. You get like
That's the
crazy
first thing I
wild
thought.
He was putting
paper.
together boats.
You somewhere hands wrinkled and shit with this fancy ass name. That's crazy.
Is it Dawn or Palm Olive? What's with the
Dawn only, baby.
Nah,
Okay.
Dawn is
Dawn
good.
only.
Dawn is good.
Dawn is what the professionals use, huh?
Yeah, they
The,
removed the
no,
grease.
Dawn,
They clean the
no,
ducks.
no. Shout to Dawn. Dawn does a lot of shit. It's a bunch of other shit that Dawn does, and it's because it's like one of the raw original shit. All raw original shit was the right shit. They start cutting everything after like Dawn.
Hold on, so you trying to say that
They
it's
cutting
a
so-
cut version when you get Palm Olive? That's what you're trying to say?
All that shit. Anything after Dawn. If it's after Dawn, if the company came after Dawn, like shit like Dawn, maybe if they was around the same time.
Ajax.
Maybe if they was around the same time, then they might be solid too. I'm just saying, like, think about it. Think about cars. The best made cars and the really cars that was like built to last and like was the older cars, the older automobiles that was like real steel. Like, you know what I mean? Not this plastic
So
shit.
you saying Ford?
Yeah, like
Ford
that's
tough.
why yeah. The old shit be the raw shit. And I think Dawn, that's why Dawn do so much shit. I forget what the fuck
You
I just
know Dawn? Who's Dawn?
Yo, you talk about Dawn like he like that thing is a bitch. It's like a bitch he know, like, yeah, like Dawn is that work.
Yeah. I'm mad because I can't think of what it do, and it's great information for the people. It's other than like, it's
No,
something.
they do the oil
I'm gonna think
spills
about
and
it
they
for the
clean up
end of
the
the
animals.
podcast, huh?
They clean up the animals on the beach and stuff with
From
the
like
oil spills.
What are you talking about?
I'm
Where are we
done.
going with this?
Dawn, Dawn.
Where are we going with
Listen, let me tell you something. First off,
We ain't
Porter
even
was
smoked
smoking.
that much.
Yeah, Porter
We
was
didn't even get
smoking.
the whole joint.
I'm talking about Dawn, the dish detergent.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
you said what they do. I said they clean up the beaches and the ducks. You ain't ever see the commercials? The oil spills?
Nah.
So
what
what the
commercial?
fuck are you talking about?
Fucking Don Corleone over here and shit. No, fuck out of here.
Y'all lost me.
Get him back.
Yo, they lost me because I thought me and
Dawn
Chelsea was
Corleone
on.
is
Me and
crazy.
Chelsea was on the same page till she mentioned whatever she mentioned about the beach.
No, listen. Well, let's all get on the same page. Two people that are not on the same page right now. We actually spoke about this gentleman last week in a different light today. We're back on it because he's back in the news. And the two people that's not on the same page right now is Joe Budden and Tahiri. Did y'all hear anything about the Joe Budden Tahiri situation?
Yeah, she basically she was on Hollywood Unlocked, and she was basically stating how, let me not say stating, she implied, she had some domestic violence experiences with Joe. And Joe replied back to her and basically said, like, he was basically disgusted about what she stated, because he said they were young. They were like 25 years old. And then if we got to really do history, Joe used to suffer from drug abuse.
Right,
and she was dealing with him like on and off help. And don't get me wrong, she was helping him through those scenarios. But he said like we both were toxic. He was like, she used to whip my ass.
I mean, that Tahiri definitely gets buck wild. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you already know, what it is with situations like that. Why talk about it now though? I mean, she's mentioned it prior, like on the show Love and Hip Hop when she was on there and stuff like that. But like, why are we like? I'm just curious. Like, why are we?
She probably got a check.
So this is where this is the thing. As a what we call ourselves personalities, public personas, we have to be careful because everybody's trying to cancel people and things like that whenever they don't agree with your opinion. And we're not. The only two people that are in the room when these things are happening is them two.
Exactly.
But when you start looking at the way that things line up, a person want to speak their truth. They can speak their truth on any day. But I know it's usually some fuck shit if a person waits till it's your birthday to go on an interview or go live and say things that could be considered slanderous about you. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's like, obviously, if you were with a person for how many years were they?
I mean, they
together?
were on and off for a minute. You got to think about how old is Joe?
It got to be like 40.
Yeah, so she's probably like up. I'm not gonna say
I know he
she's
said.
40.
I know he said something. I know he
Probably
mentioned.
like 7, 8.
I know he mentioned in one of the interviews I seen. I know he mentioned it was the 20. He said the 24, 25-year-old me, and it was the 24, 25-year-old you.
Her,
So
right,
if that helps.
Joe
Yeah,
Budden's
so-
40 years
probably
old.
like
Right, 'cause
so probably like 10 years.
Yeah. So if they were together that long, obviously she knows his birthday. So there's anything you do.
Tahiri's 41.
Anything you do, and you do something, you talk about that person, and you know it's their birthday. There was an agenda to that. Also, Joe is hot in the news at the time with his dealings with Spotify and him turning that down, and then him going back and forth with Charlemagne. So it seems to be coincidences aren't really coincidences most of the time.
Right.
And it seems to be a situation where she's definitely at the least clout chasing because he's news at the moment. And obviously, if that's her biggest situation, it was being tied to him. Whenever she speaks on him, she's back in the news.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think the fact that was done on his birthday during the time of the Spotify thing, I don't know if somebody put her up to that.
Right.
Because when you start beefing with major companies and things like that, and you talking about, I'm going to go the independent route and my audience going to come with me, the only thing they can do is try to sabotage and take that audience from you. And that's where they'll start digging into the past and getting people to speak up for a check.
Right.
Um,
Well, you know, she was on Marriage Boot Camp just not too long ago because she was I don't know who
Did she make accusations like this before though?
They had so when they were on Love and Hip Hop originally, like back then, they talked about she never got in detail about it, but she mentioned it, and she mentioned, you know, how he suffered from drug abuse, and she always tried to support him, and like, you know, they just had a toxic relationship. So I'm just
Did
thinking,
she ever mention anything about herself? Like her having an issue? Like her being abusive?
I think back then, like you seen it on the show. She didn't have to essentially talk about it because even the conversations they would have, it would be very rough and aggressive.
He was kind of
conversations.
still like that even on the new Love and Hip Hop with
No,
Sin. He seems kind of explosive and she seems kind of explosive. So you can only imagine.
But
25.
But exploding with like, see, my thing is like I you know, again, I play basketball with the man, and my thing is like every time I've seen every aspect of him, like him talking, him since he started, he's always like passionate,
Animated.
explosive. Yeah. So my whole thing is that because I can get like that, I get passionate. I've had a female tell me, and this just somebody who I love, and tell me like, Rich, like nah, like it's been a time where I felt like when you get like, and I'm like, wow,
nah, that's a real thing.
Like,
I feel you.
I like wow, like
Yeah,
I had
not
that,
explosive. It doesn't always have to be like explosive leading to abuse, but explosive could make somebody like kind of go into their shell and be scared and feel that kind of way.
No,
Yeah.
but my whole
But
thing
you
is
got to
like,
differentiate that publicly when
Right,
you're
when you-
speaking
when
on
you-
something like
True.
that.
Absolutely. Because when you tell somebody, oh, he exploded on me,
Yeah.
and if we're not talking
Pause.
porn wise, right? We're
Right.
not talking porn wise.
Right.
Okay, he exploded on me. You instantly people gonna think it was hands put on somebody.
No,
I think.
Well, no, she
If you
addressed it.
if you don't add any details.
Yeah, yes, because you got to think in the connotations of what we're talking about. If the whole thing has an undertone or overtone that there was physical abuse. Because so I want to stay on subject. So like what Rich is saying is two parts. You want to make sure that you're separating the two. Was he yelling? Do he hit walls? Do he, you know what I'm saying? Like, what does he do? Is he punching on you?
Right.
If he does punch you, did you punch him? Did you
Listen,
hit him in the head with a lamp?
it's-
No,
it's-
like
it's the
real
same-
shit.
It's the same thing we just mentioned weeks back. I'm not even gonna go into what episode, but we were saying the same thing. Where like when you give up the story, if you're gonna come with something, right? Because we don't never want to take nothing away from any
Right.
females out here who's saying they been putting their hands put on them, even to Harry. Like if this was the case, the scenario, but it gotta make sense, like Dev said. Like all of a sudden, the man's birthday, he got a bunch of shit going on where it's a bunch of like really like paper involved. We already know the business, the nature of the business is a very nasty business.
is.
The whole entertainment game in a nutshell is a very, very
I've had
nasty.
somebody make accusations about me on my birthday. I already
too.
So I know when people try to do certain things, or if a person has a certain hate or disdain for you, is like, I'ma do it on his
But on
birthday
your
and try to
birthday,
fuck
that's
it
like
up.
a
You
bit
just
aggressive.
it's no,
But it
it's
probably wasn't-
it's female like, it's bitch shit.
And
But
then
it probably wasn't on. They probably released it on his birthday.
okay, so whatever happened. And again, we to the females, we gotta come with like some details. We gotta like, just try to like, so we can be clear. Because if you coming out with it for the people to like, I guess like hear it and have an opinion on it or make a judgment on it,
Right.
then we gotta have like really like all the details. And in fact, and to my knowledge, you said that somewhere along they were saying that it was someone else who she was having like altercations with.
Right.
Okay.
Nah, I'm just saying, like, that's what I was about to get to. Like, all right, so now what's his side of the story? Because I don't even feel like I can give a full opinion without, like, just knowing all the facts and details, even on his side, too.
So first, so we have to take this into consideration. She brings up this story, and this is where the devil is in the details. And what happens with us is, if any of y'all come to me, y'all tell me a story, and y'all add a bunch of truth. You'll tell me a true story, but then you add one part that tries to mislead me. Now I'm gonna look at the whole thing as a lie. It's something you did.
Right.
So she tells this story about how, in this relationship, she got her ribs broken. This happened, and she says, my nose was broken. Now when you say that like that, and you're talking about this man beating you, it is common sense that we would assume that he broke your nose.
Right.
We could all agree on that. So when he said, well, yeah, your nose got broken, but I wasn't there. You got punched in the face
by
by
person.
another dude at the club, and you brought that up in a way to make it sound like he was like, you called me to come to the hospital to,
That's very misleading.
to come with you. And it's good for him that one of his co-hosts, Maul, was with him. Because he said, I clearly remember because I was cheating on you, out trying to fuck bitches. I was out with Maul. You called. I left the situation where I was trying to go fuck with some bitches and went to the hospital, and you still wouldn't give me the information on the dude.
Right.
So He's not even sure really what was the situation really with the dude. She's saying the dude just was an anti-Joe Budden fan. He didn't like Joe Budden. He knew she was with him, so he decided to punch her. That's very
That's really
strange.
weird.
That's a very strange. You don't hear about that happening.
So, but she did admit to having her nose broken by some dude. By being punched in the nose.
She said she got punched in the nose.
So in
she
this
batched
same
it in.
light, though-
She batched it in with Joe Budden though. That's the part.
Oh, she kind of segued the conversation, and it just sounded like you had a conversation
She wasn't
involving
being
domestic
clear.
violence, and
Yeah,
then you.
I can't just bring up random things that happened to me while I'm complaining about something Wally did.
Right.
If I say, Wally did this and this and this, I got my niggas ran up in my studio with pistols. It's like, that had nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
Why did I just tie that
And
in?
somebody would assume that she
Gotcha.
set
Yeah.
you
You
up.
feel what I'm saying? It's like that
Gotcha.
right there made me say, whoa, you're purposely trying to mislead people when you do something like that. And then to hear from him that it's like, okay, if we're going on a receipt level, we talk to each other all the time. You still contact me. He's like, I just bought a mattress from you. Like, you hit me up. Yo, do you and Sin want to do? He said, do you want to do the couples, that same show?
The marriage boot camp.
Yeah. You
I
and
was
Sin,
watching
you and
that.
Sin want to do marriage boot camp? She said that she asked him to go on Dancing with the Stars. All this shit where he's like, this shit kind of come out of nowhere since we've been in communication and shit been cool. I think that he is correct in a sense where if they were together for so long and they kind of started that journey together, I will say they were loving hip hop before loving hip hop. They were really on like MySpace and YouTube with the shit. Sometimes if you're on your YouTube and you go down a rabbit hole, you'll end up on like some old Joe Budden TV shit from 11 years ago.
Right.
You know, with Tahiri and shit. So for him and her to break up and then for him to ascend to the level that he ascended to, I mean, I think in any human being, it would bother you a
You
little bit.
sense a little bitterness.
I mean,
It's like kind of a little like not like Chris Brown and Rihanna, but we'll never know the real story. And when people tell stories about like I was abused or he abused me, vice versa, if you stay and continue to be in it, you both are part of it. So you really can't blame one party because
Especially
we weren't
if you were
there.
on a reality show and we seen your lives play out.
And we don't know how they were raised. So, like, bringing up the explosive thing again, like, explosive to somebody who was raised in a sheltered environment could be very scary. But somebody who grew up, like, in a
With
hood
loud
or
people
with
that
loud
just-
people, and they're like, oh, he just exploded on me. Like, they'd be like, oh, that's normal. So, like, of course, I don't think they were super sheltered because of what we're hearing about this story right now. But I think like we're never going to know the real truth. They both probably have faults. They both probably did immature stuff. And she needs to be more clear on what she's speaking about him. And I think past the point, like, just why are you even bringing it up?
I mean, Dev made some clear points that just makes it definitely seem like more like malice and more like
Like,
you know,
it was
again,
intentional from her side.
because all of that makes sense. Just the fact that's very deep, and people don't look at stuff like that. But that's very deep when you mention how they did all like a lot of the beginning ground stuff, the groundwork to like just the TV stuff, talking on TV, the YouTube stuff, and for Joe to kind of like just catch his blessings the way he's caught them, you know, and to be at the level that he's at. And for her, you know, not to take anything away from Tahiri, but she's not on the Joe Budden level, you know, and, you know, it's a thing where
has
people
to be
can,
painful.
It's a thing where people really can feel the type of way. And you can easily, not only, and we're not saying this is her, we're not saying this is this situation, but it is that is a thing where a person, not only can a person, yes, be bitter, somewhat bitter, especially they're not together, they haven't worked it out, and Joe maybe being a good person tries to, like he said, tries to keep the friendship all right, I guess, if they've communicated in recent times, but
no, they're like currently communicating as of like they've been currently. I mean,
It just
they've been
different.
right. Yeah,
It
that's-
would seem like she's being
but that's
bitter.
even
If they're like texting
Right, that's
every
what I'm
day
saying.
but that's
until she
even
wants to do
crazier.
something spiteful.
Right.
But
So
that's even
So
crazier.
maybe he's confused.
But that's
no.
even
I'm
crazier.
saying that. So that's what it would be. Is like if me and you are chilling right now and everything's good and we're recording the Devinwade Show, we're straight. You leave here, you go on another radio
And talk
show.
shit.
And you say something, and I'm like, what the fuck? Chelsea, I thought we
It
was
sound-
straight.
it sound
Like,
like-
that's the part that would be
It
mind
sound
blowing.
like
That's
you-
why it doesn't seem like it comes from bitterness because they are texting every day. But
So
then for it to
so
come out when it comes out, now
got-
it's
But
like,
does she want her spot back?
Not only that, but
You understand?
I was
No.
literally just about to
in
say
his life.
No,
Yeah.
I was literally just about to say, do you think it sound like she shot her shot and ain't go in?
Yeah, nigga. Because if she put up with the toxic, more broke
Well, hold on.
version of a nigga.
And you also got to look at it like this too. Like, you know, he was with Sin, is clearly in the open that, you know, he's single. So that's probably why they're even able to text back and forth to rekindle maybe whatever, even if it's just slight. And you know, maybe she, like you said, like he's the better
be trying
version
to
of
instigate
what you was in love
conversation.
What
with.
she had to deal with before.
And
But not for nothing. Joe did propose to Tahiri on national TV. Like this
But
is like,
hold
and
on,
she
hold
shut
on.
it down.
But
But
this
if
is.
he likes the toxic stuff, she might be trying to bring up toxic stuff to like
Don't listen.
bring
Listen,
it back.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell y'all something that's
That's what
real.
you'll do.
This I'm gonna tell you.
Not me.
I'm gonna tell you two things that's real. We know from our own personal friend that's a part of a very, very successful reality show. We're not gonna say his name because of what I'm about to say now. But shout out to him. That everything on them shows ain't real. The producers be putting you up to do
instigate
this
you.
and do this. Oh, make her your girlfriend. Propose to her on here. Like that's really
They
how
don't
that.
allow you to talk, so when you finally get to talk to that person, then you explode on
Also-
them because you got all these feelings and
Also,
emotions.
coming from a household with real domestic abuse, like with my mom, where my mom has a fear of this person, like my mom will never bait that nigga in nothing. My mom is not going to start talking about him. She don't want no part to, like, he over there.
right.
She not going to try to like pick shit with his new girl. Trying to drum up shit with like Sin Santana or whatever, or go on platforms and take like small shots because you wouldn't want none of that sauce. What? You're afraid of this person that's going to physically harm you, but you poking the bear on top of all the other things, the communication and all of that. It don't seem like you have that much fear of this human being that you have this communication with and actually will try to poke or provoke them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So for the women who are in real situations where they're literally getting restraining orders, hiding from people, moving where their friends don't know where the fuck they live at to make sure they
Right,
get
right,
away
right.
from a dude that could potentially hurt them. Yo, you can't play around with shit like that. You
Right.
feel what I'm saying? And just
Yeah,
be
that's
like
real.
throwing that out there like, oh, I was scared for this or that. But
And like I
your
said,
actions now don't show that.
and like I said, like, and again, I'm not saying this is Tahiri's situation, but it's what I started out with when we first started speaking on this. I said, don't sleep on checks. And what I mean by checks is this could be a love story gone wrong. Who knows? She could be still in love and whatever, tripping and just doing the wrong things, saying the wrong things in the wrong way, whatever, phrasing it wrong. But again, don't sleep on checks, man, because again, Joe going through some shit right now where it's about paper. And again, the entertainment game is a nasty game and a nasty business where people can easily like try to like hurt you through the people that's close to you or through people that can get to you, where they'll easily like toss somebody some money who they'll think or take some money to slander you and do something crazy to you to try to ruin you and tear you down. It's a very, very nasty business, man.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what's next. Just as far as like, because it seemed like ever since he spoke out, it's just more shit. So it's like we'll be able to see by next week or maybe in a couple weeks. Where like
What
This
the
is an attack.
onslaught?
Yeah.
Well,
Like if listen, y'all.
We have it till September 23rd, basically. That's his last episode.
So
right?
check this out. Just be mindful. And this ain't even us trying to shoot him no bill. We have no affiliation with that show. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, whether I'm a listener or whatever the case may be, don't fucking matter. But when you see certain shit like this go down, and then you look up and a person got the wildest out of the blue allegations, like shit that just all of a sudden going to pop up at the right time. Think about agendas. You know what I'm saying? Because things come right on time when they trying to get you the motherfucker up out of there. Or
Kanye West.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of shit, man.
Or when people just playing games in a sense, because I mean, this isn't the first time domestic violence has been brought up on Joe Budden.
Right.
So, you know, I can remember the Breakfast Club interviews and him doing the tax interviews where he's doing a press run for his album, but that's all they want to talk about.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know what his relationship.
Well, that's the easiest way to attack people too. Like if I know you did something before, I could say you did that with me. He did the same shit with me. Like because there is some kind of a documented history.
That's what it's like. It seemed like it's let's throw this out here so everything else can bubble at the same time.
This is where people going to find out that, because this is something I want to get into, how people's followings are. And sometimes people underestimate people's followings and how people really fuck with people. Because a lot of times the people in the office is just looking at these numbers and they don't understand the, I don't want to call it spiritual, but the, whatever the kindred connection, whatever it is between human beings, and how people just like, this show is a vibe for me, or this song is a vibe for me. And they're going to indulge in that. They're going to watch that. They're not going to just eat whatever you give them, whatever information you give them, and then cancel something that they love based off of that. And, you know, companies, other people that put certain things in motion will be shocked when they find out, like, I did all of that and niggas is still watching this shit. You know what I'm saying? I already know how that shit is. But I wanted to talk about cancel culture and what y'all, you know, felt about cancel culture. Because right now it seems like anything you said, man, like if you said something fucking 15 years ago, it might have been your feelings at the time. Maybe you were a person that was ignorant to people's, you know, lifestyles or whatever the case may be. And you said something about, you know, you don't want your kid to be gay because of this or whatever. And you tweeted it. And now they bring that back up when they see you bubbling or you get into a certain place, or they want to have leverage against you. You turn down something that they offered you. And it's just like, well, let's bring this up. Throw this out there.
I think that's ridiculous. I think that I feel like now, because I don't know if, you know, people follow E-News on like Instagram, but I feel like every day there's a actor, there's an actress, there's somebody apologizing for something that they said years ago. Like, I wasn't in this space, like you said, right? But my thing is, no one can have an opinion anymore, but people can state certain opinions that they feel like, you know, say if you post Black Lives Matter, somebody could have an opinion in the comments and say whatever, and nobody, granted, these people are in the limelight, right, but like, that's not fair to that person. Hold yourself accountable just as well as they are, but people, they just look at them like they aren't human beings. We had this conversation before.
Right.
You know, they think like, you know,
their opinion can't change.
Exactly.
Right, that's a big one.
They can't have growth.
Exactly.
Or they can't go through something where they're like, okay, I see that different now. Because most of the time, you don't know something until you're in it. Like entertainment, people don't understand, you know, getting paid or like being on time, all that stuff until you get in it. And then you're like, oh crap, I understand it now. Like any industry. So people just have to like, you know, be more understanding. So
Chelsea said that like perfectly. When you think about sometimes apologies or growth doesn't have to be stated. You know what I mean? You don't just every day like, yeah, I'm just better now. I don't womanize anymore. It's like people will see it in your actions that like, yo, homie, don't do that. But what they'll try to do is make it more like, so if a guy said something about homosexual people all the way back in 2006. And then you see this person change, elevate, move through the industry. And now you might see him with people that you know, come from that lifestyle. Right. And he's like chilling with them, kicking it with them, doing films with them, whatever. Like these are his people. Now here you fast forward 14 years later, 2020. This old tweet comes out, or this old thing you put on the internet, Facebook back in the day. And they try to make it more like, this is how you still feel. And you just pretending so that you could get the gay dollar. Right. Or the black dollar. Or the whatever.
Or you're only doing this for X, Y, and Z. Like you don't really feel for these people.
The people that have those opinions, I'm sure they thought something 6 years ago and now don't think something. I could think of something now 5 years ago I'd have been cool doing, and now I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that no more. 5 minutes
from now.
Yeah.
If Chelsea sells me something and it makes sense, I'll be like, Yo, I never thought about it like that, yo. You right, man. Go home and just think about like, damn, that's wild. I don't want to be the kind of person that just wants to hold on to the old thing that I said just because. It's like, nah, man, actually shit. I feel different about that. And I'll be quick to tell a lot of people, yo, I was talking about this the other day, blah, 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 but then Chelsea said this and I feel different now.
Yeah.
I think we should cancel whoever canceling shit. No.
That's everybody.
No. I don't want. See, when
I
y'all
don't like
laugh,
to cancel people out.
But when y'all laugh when I say shit, people think we playing. People think I'm playing. People think I'm joking. I'm on
but
my
if we
comedy
cancel
shit.
the people that say it, that's everybody.
All right, but listen.
But
my thing is
I don't
this.
want
My
to
thing is
cancel
this.
nobody unless it's extreme.
So you mean the news
'cause
outlets?
Canceling is petty for one, right? But if we're gonna be petty, then everybody's gonna be petty, right? If one party gets to be petty, everybody's gonna be
Hold
petty.
up, is canceling always petty?
No.
No.
So that's what. So this is where we want to be clear.
Some canceling is valid, but we know when canceling is valid.
Can we have an example of who is canceled and who is not canceled so we can
R. Kelly.
explain to the people what we mean? R.
Okay, like
Kelly
for instance,
is definitely
for
canceled.
instance,
Yeah,
R.
Tory
Kelly,
Lanez, I'm
R.
confused
Kelly,
about.
listen, R. Kelly, who I love dearly as far as his craft and everything. Like for me personally, I'm not really running to no R. Kelly music.
Bill Cosby.
And I love that shit. And so he's canceled. For me, I get it. I understand why a cancel whole thing would be put with him.
Bill Cosby always been canceled for me. Is that how they people say it?
Okay.
Well, I mean, they say
Bill Cosby canceled for me.
They say Bill Cosby
She
was.
got it.
Well, no, but they say Bill Cosby was really like shooting jumpers in these ladies' drinks, like with the joints.
We're
So
not going to get into it. We're
I
just
know,
saying
but,
I think it's
but
canceled.
my whole thing is like when you get the information, and again, we love Bill, but when we get the information, I mean, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We even
Before that though, it's other reasons. Go ahead.
right. I get it, but my whole thing is like when we get the information, we able to speak on it. We gotta sit. We can't look no other way.
No,
that's
that's a
like
fact.
that's like compared to like the other shit we done spoke on in prior shit even before this. When we don't get all the information, and you can't get mad at us if we don't support your accusation or your claim on someone or whatever. When you gave an insufficient story,
yeah,
you know what I'm
I
saying.
agree.
But in these other cases, R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, we can easily say, okay, yeah, I can see
'cause
how
there's
this
receipts.
could be like a cancel situation. But as far as canceling people for like certain things like opinions, right?
Right.
Opinions on things like, for instance, and I don't want to get too much into it because I don't want to change the
No,
topic.
but
We're
you're
talking
making
about
the point.
canceling.
Yeah.
But we're talking about canceling. But like, for instance, the homosexuality thing, right? The gay thing, the gay community thing, right? It's two sides to that, right? It's a side where gay people, right, can promote the gay thing. They can promote it, condone it, push it, pride. We got holidays for it, right? And then you have other people, right? Who like you. I know a lot of men and even women, right? They men. You got women who would never lay with another woman, right? And they feel as though that things of that nature affects things like reproduction and us moving forward as humanity.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Not only that, but as far as what books say, some biblical books and books of religions, right? We got to be fair. Listen, my older brother gay. Been gay. All his life. I don't know what happened. As far as I remember, he been gay all his life. Right? It's my older brother. I live with him till this day. He live with me right now. Like I'm like his caretaker.
He the homie. I love him.
Cause you know he ain't at his at 110%, but God thank God he good, right? It's my brother though, and for me, I can only support it to a certain extent.
Right.
I got a son to raise, my son in the house, right? So my whole thing is like you can't cancel me, right? Cause I'm saying, yo, I'm not. Listen. God, I believe that God is the final judge, makes the final judgment on all things. Right? But at the end of the day, I'm responsible as a man and as the general and as the rock of my family. I'm responsible for the future of my family, the direction we going in, my nieces, my nephews, sons, daughters, whatever. And if I say I support this, and no, son, That's not the route. That's not it. That's not what we do, right? To each his own. We're not worried about that. We're not talking about that. That don't got nothing to do with us. This is what I'm saying. And this is what we represent, and this is what we stand by, and this is what we live for. Can no like community of people who condoning that. What I'm saying I don't condone in, say, hey, we want to cancel this guy.
Right.
Because now
because you're not disrespecting any people
at all. But you see how he delivered
That's
that though?
I was gonna say that's what kind of the cancel culture is. It's like it's constructive, it's corrective behavior from people that don't necessarily even want it. It's more like a temporary feeling that they kind of get. It's all in a moment. I know this is still on subject, but I read an article the other day just about Chadwick Boseman's death from Amari Hardwick, and people wanted to like really cancel him because of the way he decided to grieve about it.
Yep.
It's
That's
like,
just crazy.
but
Yeah.
but that's what we have to be careful about. People were really upset because he made basically a RIP post to his good friend Chadwick Boseman, and they said that they made it about him. Like he made it too much about himself, when it was like it was only a couple people, like close family members, that knew he was sick in these last 4 years, and he had a last moment with them. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like somebody telling you, Dev, about your cousin, and he just passed. It's like somebody from 3,000 miles away don't know the relationship that y'all had.
Right.
Y'all could have been head-to-head competitors and still loved each other because that's how y'all grew up.
Right.
So it's like, him making it about himself and turning it into competitive nature is like, how can you tell somebody, let alone that man, just how to grieve when he's left here still dealing with it?
Right.
It's like, it's him.
That's the craziest part is that he has the real relationship and you don't.
Right.
And this is another, and I'm asking, and is this another
God.
scenario where like these so-called cancel committees could try to say, get behind and say, hey, you're done.
That would be
Or you did something foul.
I would hope not. I mean, I would hope not, but I know people really, they didn't like it. They didn't like what he had to say. And it was not the first time, someone said something about Amari Hardwick not living up to everybody else's expectations. But I'm not sure if it was like, like hunt for his head, but it's on the horizon. Anytime they drag you, let you fuck up again.
Oh, the word drag is hilarious.
Told you. Look at him. He been
Listen.
we in a world of,
but he's also in a world where people go online and disrespect his wife's appearance, or say all kind of shit about him because maybe the quote unquote bad bitches that lust for him when they watch the show are upset that they don't have a shot with him, so they want to like talk shit about his wife, and he has to be he has to sit around and bear that. You know what I'm saying? He got to have a whole comment section filled with fuckery that people would never say to another human being face to face in real life.
I would like to see a canceling communities list of what they have on their list for what they're canceling, right? And if they have a bunch of people on there that did wrong, that they feel they did wrong, different people, whatever, and I hope it's in sequence from priority. And if they don't have racism and police brutality and shit like that at the top of the list, then I say cancel the whole fucking list.
Right.
Like, what is we talking about canceling right now if we not talking about canceling racism? If we not talking about canceling motherfucking police brutality? If we not talking about canceling shit like that, oppression and oppressing motherfucking certain groups and races and colors of people. If we not talking about canceling shit like that, like, don't get me wrong. Because when some people do some foul shit out here, you out here touching kids, you out here raping women, you out here beating on women, because we should walk away from a woman that we feel we need to beat on. That's just for that. Just my opinion on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if it ain't official, man, like, and we not, and again, that other shit not in the mix, canceling like police brutality and racism and canceling bullshit presidents and bullshit politicians, period.
Right, because you got to remember
talking about,
because
man?
The canceling is a protest. If you want to cancel something personally, that's fine.
Right.
If I don't like something somebody said and I was like, yo, I don't want to listen to him no more, there ain't nothing wrong with that. He said some goofy shit. I don't want to fuck with him. But when you try to make it a movement, like everybody, let's rally up and
Based
try to
on
sing.
your opinion,
That's the problem.
That is a prime example of using your words correctly, because it ends up being a poison, because people talk and say things that they don't know what they're talking about. So if I say something about Dev to y'all three when he's not in the room, oh, Dev was mad fucking rude, he said this and that. When he come in the room, y'all all gonna have that in your head. Y'all all gonna be like, oh, Dev is mad rude. You're not gonna say nothing to him. Then maybe when you leave, you're gonna say it to the next person. And that is like gossip, that's poison,
Planting
and that's
the seed.
planting the seed. And then maybe by the time it gets around and we all in the room, or Wally says to Dev, yo, last week Chelsea said you was an asshole for this. At that point, she might not even believe what the truth is, because now
It's been a week
50
already.
people
yeah.
done already made their opinions
That's crazy.
on who
And
the
we-
fuck they think you are.
And we already suffer from the fucking deficiency of just, not being able, like when women, like the division deficiency. I've spoke about it before on different episodes where like we so easily divided. You know what I'm saying? Like when women talk, that's like when we have those scenarios where like a woman accuse a man of something, and we like broken up into groups to kind of like, oh, they feeling like, oh, well, they taking up for the men, and the women going to stand up. It shouldn't be like that.
You right.
It should just be able to be truth, facts.
Yeah.
We going off the facts, and we all as a people going to come together, and we dealing with good people, bad people,
Right.
facts, moving forward. And we'll
If you
probably have a
see
better
us on the
place.
Devinwade Show doing something that's battle of the sexes, we doing some comedy dumb shit, and we talking about shit that's just funny to talk about.
Right.
But this actually applies to what Rich was talking about just now, and it's a double back, or take a couple steps back to even the situation we talked about with the Joe and Tahiri. Is what does a man supposed to do when he's in a situation when a woman hits him? I know the real answer, but because he spoke on that and said the times have changed to where he can say that now, but back then he couldn't say my girl hit me, because he looked at that like this looks like some bitch shit.
Yeah.
Like literally, if a man calls the cops right now and says, she punched me, she hit me, even the cops gonna look at you like, my nigga, you called us about, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just a fact that we have to realize. And we can't have people like Rich saying, just taking a side, like, I'm a man, I'm gonna just ride with the man shit, or I'm a woman, I'm gonna just ride with the woman shit. Like, do you think that's equally fucked up for a woman to like steal off on a nigga because of whatever?
No, absolutely. Go ahead. This is what I believe, and this is what I've been taught. I've been taught that if you feel like you're about to hit a man, or if you do hit a man, expect a
To get knocked
reaction.
out.
Because
knocked
if a
out.
woman gets hit, sometimes a woman would just go get knocked down and be scared, or a woman might have a natural reaction and hit you back. I always think about like, hey, what would happen? Like your natural reflex. You get what I'm saying? But we live in a world where like men shouldn't even touch the woman, period, even if the woman touches him. That's basically what people state. Like you're not allowed to touch the woman.
How
regardless.
much? How much though?
Well, no, I don't even
And
think
how
there's
bad?
I
Like,
don't
if
even
You're trying to
think there's
protect yourself. If the woman comes at you, grab a woman's wrist.
Women be strong, like damn near equally strong
especially
as
if
men.
it's a
like
woman
damn
that's
near
bigger
out
than
here.
a man. I've seen
Exactly.
videos on YouTube where the guy's a toothpick and she's an elephant and she's throwing him around, like not even trying to be funny. But I've seen these videos and it's real. Like I agree with Wally. Like if I hit any man, and I've seen it, I was in Miami on South Beach. Not going to mention the girl's name. It was a friend of a friend. This girl was talking to this dude. He didn't tip her at the bar a couple weeks back, and she was like, "Oh, that nigga did that on purpose because he know I needed money, but like tip some other bitch $200 in front of me." So she came there, and we was all going out to Clevelander, and it was like 6 of us, and she's like, "I'm gonna tell this nigga when I see him, blah blah." So she sees him, she goes up to him. I'm like, "Yo, come on, like we all came here to have fun. Let's not do that." Nah, like. Nah, this nigga. So she goes up to him and she's literally in his face with her finger, like pointing at his temple, like, "Nigga, you ain't shit. You a pussy ass nigga." And she was doing this for like 2 minutes straight. And I'm sitting there and in my head, I'm like, he's about to
He's gonna hit
hook
her.
off
Yeah.
on her because there's only so much a person can put up with, man or woman, and
You're poking the bear, like Dad said.
listen.
They ended up cursing at each other back and forth, and then we go to leave. She's outside, and she's in his face, and he's like got his head up, like his chin's at her face, and he's like, "Yo,
Like
back
he's
up."
trying to basically say, like,
He's
leave
like,
me
"Back up."
alone.
And I'm scared for her because I'm like, I'm not even in front of him, and I'm like, he gonna knock you out because he's a big ass dude. Next thing you know, he hooks the shit out of her. She gets like freaking like pass out on the ground, like where she literally lost, like got the air knocked out of her, and he runs. Her purse went one way. I had to grab it. And it's like, I don't ever want to see a woman get knocked out, but it's one of those situations where it's like, that's kind of what you get. Do not try to hit a man, because at the end of the day, a man most of the time is going to be stronger than you. Vice versa. Nobody should be putting hands on anybody in a relationship. But if you're a man and you feel like, you know what, I'm about to slap this bitch, I want to walk out. Like, compose yourself.
That's easier said than done.
It's very easier said than done.
For
But
sure.
you want to be the man that hits a woman?
No. I'm not even saying that to cape for anybody. I'm really just saying that to say that everything is possible in that situation.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're already
Whereas
talking about heightened emotions, period.
Right. And now if you give context to whatever, you could be drinking. It could be an embarrassment type of thing where it's people around.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It could be so many different things. And like what Dave was talking about earlier, like I grew up in a domestic violence household. So I really, unfortunately, had to see how one things could change.
Oh,
I
know exactly.
in a split second. And for some reason, nobody ends up thinking that this could be fatal because maybe a year ago or a couple years ago, that's when y'all got into y'all first fight. Y'all didn't see the ending of it being like, damn, I made that one mistake. Because everybody's
so fast.
capable of the one mistake. And it could be a great person on both sides. She could be a great woman. It could be a great man. But that one mistake everybody's capable of can be tragic. So if it's a punch, if it's a slap, if it's whatever, you got to handle that situation, whether it's with counseling for yourself or whether you just get up and leave.
Some people
because
don't handle
it's
it.
not a good
and
mix.
that's where it gets to the scary part, because people in abusive relationships, it gets like addictive to their brain.
Yep.
Because that's
And
what
they
they want to
want
do.
it, and they feed off
and
of
that's
it.
what's comfortable for them. So at the end of the day, you be with somebody, and I've been in a kind of abusive relationship, not recently, but when I was younger, where it's like, oh, he pushed you, or then it gets to that, and then it's just like, oh, okay, he's not gonna do that, and then like 6 months in, next thing you know, like you're literally fighting a man, and you're like, why is this even happening? Why am I on the front
that's
yard
crazy.
fighting a dude? This isn't okay. But you let it get that far. He let it get that far. And at that point, I can't blame him 100%, because at the first red flag, I should have stopped it.
Yeah, if my
First
girl was
red
to hit
flag,
me,
he
I'm
should've-
out, nigga.
Listen,
It's over.
First,
I 1,000% agree with
Like
that.
I'm
too.
talking about is over, even like beyond my
At the first red flag, right?
I'm talking, but even like it doesn't change anything. I'll be completely as in love with her as I was before, but I gotta stand on that. Like, nope. This is where it ends.
That's it right there.
And people don't.
That's it. Is the fact that just because you know what's right, don't mean that your heart is going to allow you to move on.
Yep.
So it's like, that
The
you're not
deeper
supposed
it
to be
is,
with
the harder
somebody,
it is.
and then you got kids, you got house, you got a lot of shit that's entangled
But
into it.
it's always
And-
easier to do
Is that
anything.
Yeah, that's
I don't care what it is, niggas. Everybody in the hood know shooting somebody the first time is harder than doing it the second time. Like doing anything the first time, what people gonna call on anything, popping the cherry. I don't care if we took you to the range and you just wanted to squeeze the gun the first time,
Right.
you was nervous, and then after that, it was like, oh shit. So that's in anything. So I think like once that's introduced and I'm punched in the face, oh, this could happen again. This most likely,
it's gonna happen again.
because arguments is going to happen.
We all
like,
know it. We just decide not to look at it. And I've
Especially
been in that
us as
position
women.
too. I've been in that position.
Us as women, we
One
tend
thing
to keep
happens.
going and going.
Oh, he ain't
and
gonna do
going.
it again.
Yeah.
Well,
Or
Yeah.
oh, he brings
That's
flowers.
because the
or, oh, we had
relationship
makeup sex.
continues.
Yeah.
that's like a big. First and foremost, like we love our ladies. Shout to the ladies. We don't condone and no abuse with the ladies. Men, we supposed to be here to like protect and provide for like the ladies. That's how it's supposed to be as far as men and women. King and queens type thing. But unfortunately, in some situations,
Quarterbacks.
Right. And unfortunately, in some situations, things go left and things go the wrong way. And in those scenarios where you were saying like just a woman hitting a man and, you know, kind of like ODing with it, you know what I mean? And really trying to like, you know, strike a person where you can kind of like possibly hurt a person and, you know, bruise a person, whatever the case may be. You know, first and foremost, I would say definitely like try to restrain her if you could restrain her and things of that nature. But listen, you got some ladies out there that are really like go crazy, right?
Weapons.
And I want to speak on this. I want to speak on this as far as for the fellas, right? And we got to keep this in mind. Like, ladies, y'all need to know that this is facts. And I ain't speaking to just Chelsea and Wiley. I'm speaking to the ladies of the world. That there's laws and designs that go against the men of the world. And they really like kind of like are twisted and kind of like have certain like things done to them to specifically be like against the man. And that's going back to why Dev mentioned how like when if a man is in a situation and we call the cops ain't even really going to be trying to lock you up like that. And this is for every female that's out there right now listening. The cops, if he called the cops on you and say that you hit him, the cops is going, it depends what cop it is, because you might have a cop that'll take it serious. It might really, whatever, focus on domestic shit both ways and might not be biased. But for the most part, you will have a lot of situations where they take that shit as like a fucking joke, you know, and that's sad because on the flip side to that, a female could stone cold lie, like stone cold out of nowhere. And I done seen females do this for different reasons, scandalous, despiteful, ugly reasons. But you can lie and they're coming to get him. They're arresting him. He's going to jail. Like, you could be at your crib, like nowhere near this man, and you could say, yo, he beat me. He beat me on this day. I'm telling, as long as you sticking to that, you going full-fledged with it.
Yeah, it's over.
He's definitely not coming home that night.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Listen, it's crazy, ladies. And listen, again, we so easily get into that division deficiency syndrome where we easily be divided. This is why you got, listen, it kind of like reminds me, and I don't want to get off topic, but it kind of like reminds me, and what I say by designs is I feel like these certain designs, like when they able to divide us like this in domestic cases, in relationship cases, like it's a thing, like child support, like all these different things to like divide us. Like even with the man, how the man is so easily arrested for such an accusation. I believe it's a thing to remove the man from the home. I believe it's a thing to remove the man from the home, to weaken families, right? And we got to keep that shit in mind, that when we like getting in these small squabbles and we somehow get to the point where we against our own people, to the point where we'll lie. You know what I mean? Because look, my mom and dad, listen, my mom and dad, just to give an example, personal shit, right? Because we rock with our listeners, right? They like family, a lot of them. Shout to them. My mom and dad, my dad and my dad used to come home drunk, right? From drinking, out at night. My dad just wanted, don't get me wrong, my dad wasn't perfect. He was a great guy overall. Way more great than bad, you know what I'm saying? So when he would go out, he would drink. He would just, really look for a nice time. Really like dance with the females. And then he would get home. And I'm telling you, my mom would be like just spiteful, like in kind of like in her own bag. And my mom didn't need no liquor to be in her bag. This is how I know women be crazy. My mom would be sober. So this is how I know women like get in their bag and be crazy for real sometimes. Because my mom was just mad that he was having a good time. That he just came home happy.
Came home with a smile.
How you go out and drink, bitch, and come home?
It's like when I look at my phone and my girl see me smiling. What the fuck you smiling?
It was times where my mom, right?
Who's texting us?
Where my mom caused the domestic shit. My mom was in there trying to wake my dad up, like, wake up, you happy bitch. And listen, and my dad like caked up, won't get up. My mama take his shoe, a dress shoe. Them hard ass heels.
Hard bottoms?
This was way before soft bottoms.
Go upside the head with
Let's
it.
just start hitting him in his head to the point where she would like split him sometime. My dad would wake up like, what the fuck? And then my dad would like have no choice but to like, he'd wake up leaking. She's still like whatever. So my dad would like pop her one time, poop, and now my mom leaking because my dad used to wear like rings on all his fingers and shit.
Oh man.
But it was just, for real, it was like love the wrong way. You know what I mean? It was like love the wrong way.
Like he said, that toxicity, man.
Yeah, I don't even really consider that shit like domestic, bro. Listen, and it's no bullshit. Like you said, guess what? Listen, I remember when a situation like that happened, and my mom picked something up after my dad threw the punch and stabbed him. And the cops came. My mom, this how you know that this is facts, what we said about the police and how the man will easily be arrested. One little thing, he's gone, right? And the woman, flip side, they come to the crib for my mom. Soon as they walk through the motherfucking doors, my dad, G shit. He like, I fell. Soon as they come to the door, I fell right here. My mom said, he ain't fall on shit. I cut that nigga.
Fucked up.
Man, may Allah be my witness. I cut that nigga. And if he play with me some more, I'm gonna cut him again.
No shame.
They took so long and really believing that my mom did it and to arrest my mom.
Yeah, they didn't want to.
They did, listen.
For whatever reason.
So they just, what you mean? Hold on.
They was just trying to no, y'all, no, it didn't, that's not what happened here. Like,
it's crazy because I watched so I told y'all before, I got two moms. One's really my aunt or whatever. And I live with my aunt and I call her mom. I watched her stab my step pop too. You know what I'm saying? Like, heard that rattle. They was arguing. He not putting his hands on nothing. So it's definitely her, the aggressor. You know what I mean? They ain't arguing. She saying this and that behind, arguing over money or some shit. She go to the drawer. I hear that rattle. Rattle. I'm sitting there playing Karate Kid video game. I'll never forget. Right? On Nintendo. I turn around and I just see that joint go up in him.
What?
He like, you jump when you get stabbed. You know what I'm saying? And it was crazy because it's wild because I guess people don't know how it affects kids where you get so used to it where I was almost annoyed that I had to turn my game off because it was like, he got to go to the hospital. He going to go in the hospital and she like, kids, get off the game, get in the car. And now she's following him while he's trying to go to Our Lady of Lourdes and pulls him over the side of the road and continues to argue while he's like holding his arm, bleeding with like a towel to his arm and shit like that. And it was like, she didn't have even like a fear of I'm going to go to jail or something like that is going to happen. Imagine the opposite scenario. Man stabs a woman in an argument before no punches were thrown.
They shooting that nigga.
So yeah, stabs. Then afterwards, still has the gall to say, think about this. And I love you, Mom. This is just what it is. Because my mom listens to the show. Yo, get in the car, kids. We following Mom to the hospital. Like she gonna give me this bread or whatever.
Nah, it would have been a whole scenario.
Man. Just changing the characters from a female to a male. It's like, who is this guy?
It's almost like they fucking get there and I swear to God, it's like a thing, and I swear to God, it's like a real fucking thing. But it's almost like they get there. No bullshit. Because I get real. Like it's almost like they get there and they be like, we don't want her. That's not who we want. No matter what the fuck she did, that's not who we want.
Swear to God.
But when they calling this a man, and the call go through the dispatch, who hit who? Johnny.
We got something to shoot.
Everybody, get the fucking vests on. We got one. And them niggas come deep, right? Like, and that shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't.
I've literally seen situations where the dude ain't do nothing and he out of there. At least
Those
for
are
that
the worst
night,
case scenarios.
he's out of there. That's his crib. That's his. Everything is his. But just because it was some arguing and he has a louder voice,
he seems like the aggressor.
he gotta go. And it's like, damn. But they be knowing that too.
You be able to do it with your D.
I done seen them games where it ain't no about pressing charges and nothing is. We gonna have them come here and they never want to leave empty handed. They at least gotta kick you out.
Yeah, they gotta get something for their call.
Like, shit.
Yeah.
Bro, listen, just take a walk with us.
They be saying,
I live there. Where the fuck you want me to walk with y'all at? They be like, buddy, just calm down, walk with us. It's all like,
but believe the design, that Rich talked about is real.
And one day maybe we'll do a show that takes a deeper dive on that design, but that design goes deep all the way into Section 8. Like if you grew up off that shit, you knew that it was like no man was allowed to be in the house.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a thing.
So it was like, oh, Section 8 is coming to check to see what's going on in the crib. Hide the weight bent, hide the hat, take all the fittings off the wall. Like you knew what it was.
Look around now, bro.
Hiding a dad is crazy.
Listen,
that's what it was, man.
Listen, look around now. Look around now at what we dealing with now. We know versus women to men, it is a drought, especially in communities like ours where a lot of men have fell victim to mass incarceration or death, violence in poverty-stricken cities, inner cities all across America. And do the math to the ratios of single mothers, single homes, and things like that, and you'll see that what we saying about these designs is a fucking thing, is a fucking fact, and it's a shame. It's pathetic. It's almost make you think like, and that's why they say that there's evil, powerful men out here that would love to have their way with the fucking women of the world, and women should be hearing that and on point about that and take precaution as well and fight for yourself, ladies. Because I'm sure that's not a world that you would want to live in, and I wouldn't want my nieces and my daughters to have to grow up in, and that's why we don't give a fuck. And we fear God. We don't fear none of the nut shit over here.
I don't even want to. Honestly, we were supposed to talk about this subject. We're going to just glance by it, even though, and that's no disrespect to the victim and the things that's going on. It just seems like we'll come here every week. Unfortunately, we'll be here next week and there'll be another police murder. But it was a disturbing video that we saw earlier. A man has a brother that's in distress, physical brother, calls 911 because that's all there is for him to call. 911 shows up. His brother is he's nude, right?
Yeah.
And he's outside. Just acting erratic or whatever. But he's nude. Obviously, he doesn't have a weapon. You can see that when a person has no clothes on, there's nothing for him to conceal. And the police restrain this man, but they end up what was that? A shirt over his face?
Yeah, it was like a shirt, like a white shirt. And then the kid, I don't know if it was a guy or like a kid or however old he was, but you can tell he was like talking still. Like he was, I guess what he was doing was making erratic like noises and like statements and stuff like that. But nothing like, life-threatening. More of like, I guess where he was at or who he was or whatever the case may be. But he was definitely talking. But you could hear him like choking up too. And they're like, calm down. They keep telling him to calm down.
He's like, I got coronavirus.
Yeah, he was
they also know that this person is mentally disturbed. So to try to bargain sometimes with a person, that's the stupidest shit. This is common sense stupid. You gonna tell a motherfucker what Alzheimer's to fucking remember?
Yeah.
You fucking dickhead.
So it's obvious that we cops are not fucking trained for medical situations
or mentally ill people.
Sensitivity training.
Yes, and it's obvious that we need to probably cancel 911 on a lot of fucking situations and bring back 411. Maybe is 411 still a thing?
No, I haven't heard that in a long time. But they were. I saw that in select cities. They were creating situations where you call, like if it's something that doesn't have to do with crime, you would call another shorthand phone number and they would bring them. Police do not come at all.
That's what we need. We need 411 for information. We need 311 for medical. We need that shit because cops is really like, listen, and again, I got family that I love dearly that, and shout out to my cousin, good officer, like, and there's other good officers out there. But like this shit is like ridiculous. Like the dickheads and the just the untrained shit, the racist shit, the fucking power fucking.
A lot of this shit is the power shit, man. Overall, because they'll do it to whoever.
It's ridiculous, like man. It's you fucking the world up, bro. You fucking the world up for y'all fucking egos for this fucking so-called gang that y'all got, bro. Like it's weird as shit, bro. Like, and y'all supposed to be like the people that people supposed to be count on. Like, why y'all even sign the fuck up? Just give up your badge.
Y'all know what town that took place in? At all? But it was just a disturbing video, and then it was like the cops were like joking and laughing and like, yo, is he moving? Is he alive?
Like, did you kill the guy? Like, and this is all dash cam and what's that, body cam footage
In Chicago.
it was that's an unfortunate thing, and you got to understand the trauma that puts on the family, brothers, you know. The brother, like he wished. You know how many people wish they never would have called help. You know, homies from our hood that's got colostomy bags because motherfucker, you know, your mom called because it's like, listen, he's having a breakdown. Something's going on with him. I need your help. He's nude. You know what I'm saying? Things that are mental health related, drug related. Police show up and shoot you. You know what I'm saying? Like it's happened out Parkside. You know what I'm saying? With one of our other homies of family members, and they killed that man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he's no threat. He's fucking ass naked. He don't have nothing on him, and they're telling him, "Don't take another step forward." But he like 15 feet away. You know he's incoherent. That's why his mom called y'all to come help him. But he takes those steps forward and y'all light him up like he gonna pull a gun out his asshole. It's like, literally, it's fucking the crazy. Fact,
especially in the situation that y'all just described, because I didn't look it up. I didn't watch the video because I'm tired. I'm sick of like seeing shit like that. But yeah, it's like, I swore y'all had other options to solve this problem. Where is the taser? Where is the shit you be beating niggas up with? Like, where are the regular shit? Like,
yeah, they just skipped over that shit.
Don't they know how to put somebody down
I think they handcuff them, then choke
having to put a knee in their back?
Well, it's just so many questions. Like, why? Why?
Like when everybody gets shot, you can't shoot somebody in the foot.
And when you hear
right, that's real.
Always
Tory Lanez did it. Maybe they need to get Tory Lanez to teach these motherfucking cops how.
But not only that, when you hear somebody like a George Floyd, or rest in peace to George Floyd, and when you hear somebody like that, man, begging for their fucking life and telling you they can't breathe, as a man, even y'all men, right? Because this ain't been no women in this situation. I know women, men, we operate different. But even as a man, we supposed to be so fucking manly, right? But even as a man, and you hear some shit like that, you mean to tell me you can't imagine your own brother or your own son being in that fucking scenario, my nigga, how you would feel if somebody had your son like that, choking your son out? That's what you evil motherfuckers need to think about when you go to sleep at night. That one day, God forbid, this could be your motherfucking family member somewhere caught up with the wrong people, being choked the fuck out, begging for their life, pleading for their life, and not being spared. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, this shit, you know, that's what I said. We're not even going to go take a deep dive on that, because it starts to get to the point where things keep happening so rapidly that they haven't even developed the stories from what we talked about last week. It's still no difference in that situation. They're still waiting on official charges. It's fucking crazy to think it'll be something else. We got to talk about something lighter real quick, because I just hate the idea of even leaving on a low note like that, man. What else we got going on? Oh, comedy show. We always got to remind the people to come out and kick it with us,
the
man.
The flyer
September
is fire,
20th.
nigga.
The flyer is.
Who are you? What's his name again? Your character on the flyer? Who are you on the fucking flyer?
Loke Dog.
Loke Dog.
No.
Yeah, who the fuck is Vaughn? Who's Vaughn?
Ashtray.
That's crazy. These niggas is crazy.
Nah,
that's my movie, yo.
Bro, I looked at the flyer when Dev sent it back. I really didn't think it was me. I thought it was him. I'm like, I'm looking like, what the fuck?
You thought that last time when I made you Beverly Hills Cop.
Yo.
Because I did look like that nigga a little bit.
If y'all gonna do skits from like that shit, can I come be like the guy and do the skit when I knock all the kids out? I'm gonna bring. I might could get the kids like from certain parents that I rock with. No, I got certain parents that love me to death. They know I'm not gonna really hurt them, but we can make it look. We can make it look amazing. I got the kids. Y'all know I got the kids on deck.
And with it,
make it. That's my movie.
Have them, yeah.
I knew that movie was going to be wild because, well, the movie that we're talking about obviously is "Don't Be a Menace While Drinking Your Juice in the Hood."
Yeah,
and I remember the first scene at the barbecue when the people were dancing, and he was like, "It's some freaks up
They
here."
was dancing naked. He
And they was
was
butt naked.
Nah, that's listen. Yo,
was.
y'all gotta come out on the 20th because we fuck around had a whole shit like themed out. Like soon as you walk in, you might see the two brothers with the cell phone that call each other, and then they went to the motherfucking stage like, "Yo, you ready? Let's go to the bar.
gotta
Come
set
on!"
that
And they go. I'm telling you.
We're gonna have DJ Chelsea Lee on the ones and twos. Y'all can go
Why you
there.
start that?
Yeah. Wally D gonna be the wild zombie in the back of the U-Haul when she went zombie.
That's hilarious.
Remember the sex scene?
When
Yes,
she
that was crazy.
She tore his ass up. Man.
She went from dime piece to a devilish motherfucking
Her head turned
monster.
everything.
Oh my God. Yeah, so come out and kick it with us, man. You know what I'm saying? Have a drink with us. Support comedian and host of the whole event, Garnett Briscoe, and Ray will be the main event.
September 20th, Vera Bar and Grill, Cherry Hill, 2 to 4 p.m.
2 to 4.
You buy the tickets how and where?
Good shit. That's
Yeah.
why you're around. Listen, on Eventbrite, there's no physical tickets. Yeah, so everything is just on Eventbrite.
So what we'll make
Eventbrite.
sure to do is if you're listening to this, you can definitely, whether you're on YouTube or on any of the other platforms, I will have a link for the tickets inside the bio. Go on there, grab the Jones, come fuck with us. Because we goofy. It's gonna be the same goofy shit.
We coming to support our brother, and you just never know what might happen when the Devinwade Show's in the building, man. We might give out some cash. We might give out a award.
Damn.
That's how
Chelsea
we
Lee
feeling.
might flash
That's
y'all.
how we feeling. That's how we feeling.
I'm gonna flash you my toes.
Hey, bro. Listen, bro. That's how
Wally
we
might be feeling
Wally-
frisky.
Listen,
she might do it.
That's how we feeling. We might.
Nothing.
Put
Wally
you,
wears
get
these
you
shirts. Hold on, how many holes is in your shirt?
38.
200.
She looked like.
She looked like she just
Listen,
came from the hood.
I don't even
It's
want
crazy.
to say it.
Listen, I was gonna say a police. It
Yep.
looked like she
She
came
got
across
pulled
some
over.
police because there's about literally 37 bullet holes in her shirt.
Yeah, it is
Right.
actually.
That's some Luke Cage shit.
But God forbid,
I'm
that's
gonna be
just
turned up.
that's just the style
Buy
on my
us a
on my
drink.
baby.
We gonna
Yeah,
be
this is the
turned.
style, but buy us a drink.
But don't send it to me because I need to
No,
see it
bring
coming
it.
from the bar.
Exactly.
Yeah, because she don't trust your Bill Cosby ass
I
nigga.
don't blame her.
I don't.
I don't blame her. It's wicked
Or
outside.
just
Somebody
take us
drugged
to
me
the bar.
before.
Take us to the bar. We'll communicate. We'll have good convo. Have a good time. Y'all already
Okay.
know.
Y'all is it possible for one of the fans to get a Wally?
Negative.
Not for me.
It's impossible to get a
It's
Wally.
impulsive.
Are you familiar with a wall?
I know. Give me a Wally. I know what a Wally is.
Nice.
That's
It's a-
right. How's Wally?
Oh wow! I didn't even put that
Wally
together.
Wally.
Yo, Wally.
I used to give mean Wallies though back in the
Yo,
day.
Wally, listen. Wait a minute.
Giving it
Listen,
every Wally.
yo, listen. Yo, listen. For her
was
to
crazy.
listen.
School and we was lit.
If she listen, maybe you're a handsome gentleman out there that watches the show, and maybe you could possibly get one of these wild Wally Water Kingdom Wallies. It might be the wettest Wally you ever got.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Look for our music. Yo,
Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait. Let's hold on. Let's rewind and
say?
back this up. She said make sure you wear a condom. What she's saying basically is you might bust from this
and she
one.
basically saying like, come in there how Garnett come on episodes. Ready.
Just be ready.
Ready.
Hot and ready.
Yo,
That's
dirty.
it. That's
Oh my God. Yo, no, that's one of your new drops too. That little high pitched y'all dirty. She done dropped that on us a couple
Me,
times.
y'all dirty. I always say that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
my
That's
thing.
that's your new drop.
Dirty.
But
Yeah.
we gonna get the fuck up out of here, man. For myself, for Porter Rich, for hold on. This is where we gonna really make this pop. We about to change the game right now. For Garnett Briscoe, and we're gonna count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna get a combo.
combo mode.
We're gonna get a combo.
All right, I'm gonna throw some ad libs.
No, you're not putting ad libs in there.
Oh, take it.
No, you're not. No. Oh, by the way, make sure y'all go check out Garnett Briscoe's skit. The wig that you had on, And that
Ashtray,
joint,
real
bitch.
name.
yo, that
Ashtray.
what, yo,
And the
The
other
only
one.
black
What was the first one?
producers
What was the first
can't
one?
have good wigs.
At
And that
all.
makes me
It's
so
be
mad.
bad.
What was the first one? The first one was genius too. What was the first one?
Paid in Full.
Paid in
Was
full.
it-
He was
yeah,
Uncle
Ice.
Ice.
Ice
He did
Pick.
an Uncle Ice joint, and then
Ice Pick.
But who's that dude's name, and what movie is that you did?
That's a good movie too.
What you talking about?
The most recent one.
the most recent one. You saying that was a good movie?
So no, it was. It was
it was a
a
good
Tyler
movie.
Perry
For real,
movie.
that Tyler Perry movie was good with the
Yeah.
fucked up wigs.
Yeah, it was fucked up.
People
It's
just
a
like to
story.
see trauma, dog.
Yo.
Like all of these Tyler Perry movies, they be trauma filled.
Yo,
Dog.
because you would have never thought the outcome of that shit. Nah,
yeah, I
it's a
can't
good
watch
movie.
that shit. That
Listen,
nigga's hair,
listen,
that
listen.
nigga's haircut
Listen,
was not
this
it.
is how ridiculous that scene was.
Yes, it was.
This is the sentence. She walks in saying how he has to get out of her house. He responds, ashtray. What? Like, where is the connection?
He ain't paying her no mind. That's what he's saying.
Ashtray,
At all.
bitch. It's like, how do you go from that? You just called him
Ashtray
a motherfucker.
bitch is a very disrespectful sentence.
And she was an elder. She was older than him.
Yeah, he was ripping her off. He was
Yo.
ripping her off. He took her money, all that.
Listen, be on the lookout for again our brother Garnett Briscoe, because I already told him, like, them skits when he listen and he about to get like really.
Yeah,
I know
he getting in his bag.
Listen, no, and I already know even the chop game. Like once he really start chopping, and it's just going to another level. And y'all gotta like be prepared out there for like anybody who's like in that field. Like it's gonna go crazy.
So we already signed those guys out now. For the detectives, Waleska D and Chelsea Lee. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, that was good. Go Wally.
I think they gonna fuck with that.
I like that.
That was like, how?
I never heard it in person.
It made it sound like something was
actually-
going on.
Fuck
Like
Chelsea
somebody.
up
It
for a
did,
second.
especially on the.
I did it on
Yeah,
purpose.
it was like somebody did something to somebody, and they was
did it on
checking on it.
purpose.
It was. We'll get to it.
I did it on purpose.
Y'all got to see their
The Wally
eyes
walk-
roll in the back of their heads when they make these
Yeah.
noises, man.
It was a whole thing.
I just
hear
be
that?
looking at them.
Is that Wally walking away? This has been the Devinwade Show. We out, man.
That's hilarious.
Looking for the one, have you seen him? Impatient and I can't wait to meet him. See, I'm a ride for him if he rides for me. Have the kind of love that won't fade away. I know I'ma get him, I ain't worried. But I need his loving in a hurry. I'll stay by your side, bet you understand. Can't wait till we unite, yeah. Let's create a vibe. Need a man with some ambition. It ain't even Christmas, but if he's close to 6'6", probably on my wish list.